Welcome back to the second part of the chapter Going Places, written by A.R. Barton. Okay, so last time we stopped when the father and the son were discussing about Danny Casey and Sophie informing the Dew about Danny Casey opening or buying a shop. And it is then that her father warns Sophie that such figments of her imagination will one day bring her trouble, or she would be in trouble one day if she gets too much carried away with such fantasies. All right. And the next one is mm, the next day, or the paragraph starts with Sophie telling her brother Geoff a more secret about her meeting with Danny Casey. All right. So when she went into his room, Geoff was, or Geoff is in his room, and then the line describes about the posters put up on the walls of his room. So he has some posters of the Irish football team and few big few posters of his favorite football player, that is Danny Casey's. Okay, and then Sophie shares with her brother a secret about Danny Casey, which she hasn't told anyone yet, and she uh, wants her brother not to tell it to anyone because that is supposed to be meant as a secret between the brother and sister. All right, so Uh, before she tells the secret, Jove wants her not to get carried away or not to be, you know, too imaginative or not to think so much about Danny Casey because she is a school-going girl, and Danny Casey being a famous personality or celebrity and a football star, he would have a lot of female fans following him, right? So, uh, okay, and then Sophie kind of uh, ignores the warning given by her brother, saying that, Danny Casey doesn't have any girlfriends. When Jove asks, how does she come to know about it? Or how she came to know about it, she tells that Danny Casey himself has said it. All right. And then Sophie narrates how she met Danny Casey. Now, this is not the second meeting that had taken place between Danny Casey and Sophie, but it is the continuation of the first meeting, which she has supposed to uh, told, or she has told her brother. All right. So um, outside Roy's shop, she has uh, asked for the autograph meant for her younger brother Derek. All right, but Danny Casey says that he doesn't have pen nor a paper, and similarly, it is the same case with Sophie because she doesn't have a pen or paper. All right, and then Danny Casey asks if she can come and meet him on Saturday, and that day he can give, or he could give her the autograph. And that was a kind of date being asked by Danny Casey. All right. And after having said that, Jove leaves the room, telling her that Danny Casey is surely not going to turn up or not going to come to the meeting. All right. And then Sophie, okay, when she sees her brother, she considers him to be handsome, but he doesn't mind much about his dressing sense, or he doesn't have uh, proper dressing sense. He wears whatever um, he can get hold of. So she wishes her brother to be more attentive, to be more careful when it comes to choosing his choice of clothes. All right. Okay. And the next one, it describes how important the football match uh, in which uh, the United played is considered to be uh, important. Okay, so every Saturday, that's what is mentioned. Irish football team, the United in which Danny Casey for which Danny Casey plays, right? And then their visit to the stadium to watch the United team play is considered to be so important, like that of visiting a holy place or a sacred place. So their journey from their house to that stadium is considered to be like a pilgrimage. So it is a weekly pilgrimage. That means every Saturday the United team plays, right? So I'll read that sentence again. Uh, Such due importance was given to the game by the family of Sophie that it is being mentioned as a weekly pilgrimage to the stadium. So such importance was given to uh, the football match, right? And then it is the Saturday, or only the Saturday, uh, on which the family gets to see Danny Casey in action, because when United plays, he will surely be there in the match, right? Playing for the team or for the nation. So uh, the next few lines describes how skillfully Danny Casey plays. Like kind of the way he deceives the other team's defenders, and then how skillfully he takes the ball and scores the goals for the team, resulting in the team winning. And one could hear the sound of applause being made, the happy audience. All right. And then finally the United wins the match. So the next paragraph describes when the family or the other people are on their way back home. So they have traveled in bus, or they have boarded bus, and people in the bus are talking about, you know, the game. All right. So uh, meanwhile, Sophie's father has gone to the bar or to the pub to celebrate. Like I mentioned before, Sophie's father likes to celebrate every small occasion. So uh, when the United team won, he does not want to miss the chance of celebrating it. So he goes to uh, a bar to celebrate, or obviously to have a drink in the name of celebration. All right. And then Derek, after having reached home, informs his mother that uh, the World Cup is surely going to be won by the United team. All right. And then next one is Jency and Sophie meeting some other day. So Jency, after having met Sophie, she wants to know from Sophie the thing going on between Danny Casey and herself. Now Sophie feels sad because that was supposed to be a secret between her brother and herself. But how come Jency knows about it? So she somehow understands or learns from Jency that Jency has learned it from her brother Frank, and Frank is the friend of Geoff. All right, so that's how Jency comes to know about the thing, or about the meeting between between Sophie and Danny Casey. So she feels kind of bad because her brother hasn't kept his promise, or hasn't kept the matter a secret. All right, so she acts quite normally and casually. She doesn't sound surprised. All right, so she feels that it is not a kind of Gen Z kind of thing at all. So this means that Gen Z cannot stomach or cannot keep any secret. If something secret is told to her, she cannot stomach it. Means she spreads it to, she tells it to some other people, that thus the secret doesn't remain a secret. All right. So if Gen Z comes to know about the meeting between between Danny Casey and Sophie, then she will inform all the people in the neighborhood, and people will line up in front of her house to ask Sophie's father about Sophie and Danny Casey, or the matter between them. And that will be the time when Sophie's father would be very angry, right? So she says that Gen Z says that in that case, if she were in her place, she would be very happy, right? Because her father would feel proud about, his daughter's association with a famous personality. But that's what Sophie doesn't want. She would get a scolding, or she would have uh, a row between herself and her father. That's what her mother doesn't want. All right. So Sophie later on learns that Geoff hasn't told each and everything about the meeting that had taken place between Sophie and Danny Casey, uh, especially Sophie meeting Danny Casey on Saturday. All right, so she feels kind of relieved or relaxed, right? And she feels happy that after all, her brother has somewhat kept a secret. All right, okay, and then so that uh, on that Saturday evening, Sophie chooses a place, a solitude place, or a secluded place. The reason why she has chosen this place is because since her during her childhood days, she has been coming to that place. So that is a kind of a place which is known, very much well known to her. So she hopes and prays that Danny Casey will approve the place or will like the place, because that kind of place is preferred by especially lovers, where they will have some privacy, not being seen by other people. So she hopes that Danny Casey will like such secluded place. All right. And then Sophie, being too imaginative, imagines Danny Casey coming behind the trees. And then she also imagines, you know, uh, his blushing, and then she also imagines her excitement, her own growing excitement. All right. And then after waiting for some time, Danny Casey doesn't turn up. So do not imagine that Danny Casey is surely going to come, because there is no such meeting that had taken place between Danny Casey and Sophie. These are all figments of her imaginations. All right. So obviously Danny Casey is surely not going to come, right? So but Sophie is such a girl. Even though she knows that Danny Casey is not going to come, still she waits for him. All right. So uh, then she starts getting disappointed, and the reason why she gets disappointment is she herself is to be held responsible because of her imaginations. She knows for sure that Danny Casey is not going to come, but you know she still waits there, and she gets disappointed. How illogical, isn't it? Right? So she feels bad, thinking that the other people would have an opportunity of criticizing or pointing their fingers to Sophie, or fingers at Sophie, and they somehow knew that Sophie, being imaginative, uh, such meeting hadn't taken place between Sophie and Danny Casey. And when she returns home, if she informs her brother or anyone in the family that Danny Casey hasn't come, then they will have this opportunity of proving that Sophie is being unrealistic. All right. Okay. So, and she even involves her brother in her imaginations, or she imagines how disappointed her brother will be when she informs him about Danny Casey not coming to meet her. All right. So, on the way back, she sees her father's bicycle cropping or leaning against the wall of the pub. That means the father is still at the pub and not at home. So she feels happy because she does not have to, you know, uh, get interrogated by her father, uh, get interrogated by her father about her whereabouts. So she goes, and then even though she knows that Danny Casey is beyond her reach, or is completely such thing is not going to happen between Danny Casey and herself, she still uh, continues with her imagination of meeting him in the arcade. All right. So now this is again the continuation of the meeting that she had told her brother, which had actually not happened. All right. So she has asked for the autograph, but unfortunately, neither of them have pen or paper for the autograph. All right. So the last paragraph is again on Saturday. Sophie sees Danny Casey in real. That is when Danny Casey is playing football. All right, not somewhere else. And she becomes so happy and so ecstatic on seeing Danny Casey play so well, so skillfully, and scoring goal for the team. So this is the end of the second part of your chapter, Going Places. Now, if I tell you about the title, if I justify the title, uh, Going Places. So Going Places is a journey into the world of imagination. So that means you travel to different places, but only in your mind, but only in your imagination. All right. And then that imagination drift from one thing to another. All right. So Sophie, like I mentioned in the previous video, that she can also be called as an escapist. All right, because she is satisfied, she is contented about or contented or satisfied being in her imagination, in her dream of in her world of dreams, because she feels that the harsh reality of life is too difficult or too harsh for her. So that's how she escapes the harsh realities of life by imagining things. So hopefully this video has uh, helped you